Right, and again, I can edit this as we go. Right, so hi everybody, thank you for tuning in. And here today I've got the privilege of having John Goldie here with me. As some of you might know, we've got a guitar getaway coming up on the 25th of May, and that's going to be hosted by the man himself, which I'm really looking forward to. And today we're just going to have a little chat, and hopefully you'll get the gist of what you can expect at the workshop. So thank you very much for coming today, John.
Pleasure.
So for people who might not have heard of you and don't know you, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Okay, so a brief resume. I've got a mixed background, so I started off as a blues rock guitar player as a kid, and then I ventured into a couple of different areas. One was doing some studio work, like session work, doing shows, doing clubs, and then I got headhunted by the Really Useful Group, which is Andrew Lloyd Webber's company. Went to work for them for a while, did Jesus Christ Superstar, did a couple of British tours with that. And in the meantime, I also, by luck, met a guitar player called Martin Taylor, who's a famous jazz guitar player. And I wasn't really interested in jazz, but met him, got interested, and then ended up being in a band with Martin. We've won a couple of British Jazz Awards, and for anybody who's old enough and remembers the Renault Clio advert with Nicole Papa, we did the music for that. And in the midst of all that, I started to write my own music, and probably in the last 15 years maybe I've just done solo concerts. I've toured all over the world, and I've done workshops all over the world as well. I've done workshops as far away as Bangladesh, believe it or not, and Partick. So quite a few different ones, and also I still play a little bit of jazz, but mainly I compose my own music and just do concerts. My next album will be with a string quartet, and it's all original music. I've got 8 CDs out. I also write for TV and film. I worked with the Still Game people and wrote a couple of series for them on music for it. And I've got music on all sorts of programs, from Top Gear to movies to, I don't know, whatever, load of different things. So yeah, it's a pretty mixed bag. So because of that, it means that I play a lot of different styles, and I'm not limited to one thing. And when I do play solo acoustic music, it covers a wide a number of different genres and a wide range of techniques. So I don't have one technique like a classical player maybe, or a traditional kind of folk or Celtic player. I've got a sort of mixed technique. So, and also I really enjoy doing workshops, so I'm interested to work with people and help them in any way I can.
Yeah, that's great. One of the things when I looked you up on YouTube, one of the first videos that came up was you playing with Tommy Emmanuel.
Yes.
As well. Yes. So that must have been some experience.
Yeah,
I imagine.
Been very fortunate, toured with Tommy, worldwide actually. I've toured with Tommy, and he's a great guy, good friend of mine, and I've been lucky enough to work with, Martin Taylor, Tommy Emmanuel, George Benson, jazz guitar player, Ronnie Wood from the Rolling Stones I've done some stuff with, and a few other people along the way. Sometimes it's just luck, you're in the right place at the right time, and other times it's somebody likes what you do. So I've had people in the audience at my gigs that are famous, and I didn't know they were in the audience until they came up afterwards, and it's a real amazing surprise when a famous face comes up and says, "Oh, I really enjoyed your gig, it was fantastic," and they're almost like a fan. It's pretty weird. But so a lot of people I've just met, it's just been
you get some great testimonials out there from some really great guitarists.
Paid them well.
What I'm really looking forward to this getaway isn't just the workshops themselves, but actually spending time with quality guitarists like yourself, because I think a lot of guitarists out there especially have been learning from YouTube and learning from the internet, and haven't actually had the experience of being around other musicians.
Yeah.
So it's a great opportunity for people to actually get out and learn from a guy who's been there and done everything. So how beneficial would you say it is for guitar students to actually spend time with better musicians?
Well, my personal experience is I haven't really learned anything from YouTube. I don't use it really as a learning source. I mean, I know it is a great learning source, but I learned pretty much everything by ear or by being with better musicians than myself. I think you can learn a certain amount from from a computer or a screen, but when you're actually sitting next to someone and they play, you get a different feel for what they're doing, and you also get a different interpretation of what it is they do because you are right next to them, and you can also stop them and say, hold on a minute, because if you're looking at somebody straight on, you can't really always see what they're doing, so you might be looking at it and somebody's doing this. Now, if I did something different, if I did this, straight on, you can't really see what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Sideways, still quite hard to see exactly what I'm doing. So when somebody's watching you play that and say, oh right, what is it you're doing? You're bouncing your hand up and down, and they try, and it's very difficult to tell. Whereas if you stop somebody and go, can you slow it down?
Yeah.
That's what's happening.
Yeah, I think that's the big thing, is just to have some interaction there, because in YouTube you can't exactly ask anybody any questions.
No. No, I think if you watch somebody play, if you're learning something from somebody and you can stop them and say, I haven't quite got that, that's probably the most valid thing you can do. I mean, when I was learning things, I used to ask the same question over and over again to my old guitar teacher, and he always encouraged that. He said, no, you just keep asking until you've got it. And so I wasn't afraid to do that, and it made a big difference, because when I actually understood it, I really understood it. Mm-hmm. Whereas a lot of people, they feel a little embarrassed about it, and they don't want to admit they can't quite do it, or they can't, so they sort of sweep it under the carpet. But I just kept at it until I understood, because I learned everything in reverse, so I could play everything before I knew where it was, if you see what I mean. So I learned it backwards. Where a lot of people would say, well, why did you bother? Because you could already play it. But I wanted to know why things worked for myself. Mm-hmm. No one else, and I mean that no one else really encouraged me to do that. It was just in my head. I thought, I want to know why that chord is, that chord. Why is it called that? It used to annoy me. I didn't know what things were, or I couldn't. When I couldn't read music at the start, it used to annoy me that I couldn't play Baba Black Sheep. I could, of course, work Baba Black Sheep out in my head, but I couldn't read it from music, and something in my head. I found that a bit frustrating, so I just decided, no, I'm going to try and learn as much as I can. Mm-hmm. And it's been a major difference for me from, I suppose being a good kind of kid as a player to being a good professional. Mm-hmm. It's quite a big jump, and also to be able to do the different styles of music and types of work that I've done, you do need to have a right good understanding of music. The fact that you might be a great player is a different thing. The understanding part of it, you've got this kind of safety net that you can fall back on, which I think is pretty good. And I think for a lot of people, when I'm teaching, that's what I'm trying to get, is start to build up a bit of a safety net, so they've got stuff they can fall back on, or if they're trying to get the middle eight of a song they're writing, for example, if they know what key it's in and the chords in the key, they've got a head start to where the middle eight might be. It doesn't mean to say they're going to write a good tune, it just means you've got some more tools to work with, I think.
Absolutely.
Because at the end of the day, your ear is your best friend. If you hear something and you think that sounds great, that's it, just go with it, But for all genres of music, you really need to use your ears, and there's a lot of phrasing and stuff like that as well is pretty important, and it's hard to get that from any books or from the internet.
Yep. I mean, probably one of the most beneficial lessons I've learned while playing guitar is extracting the music that you're learning to play. Mm-hmm. And finding out, once you learn the theory behind it, what scales they're using, how that piece of music's composed, when you start to learn other things, it's so much easier.
Yeah.
So you said you've done plenty of workshops in the past, all over the place, John. So what kind of workshops are you doing at the moment?
Well, I've just done a couple in I was doing a kind of tour of the West Coast, and I did a couple of smaller workshops. They're just like daytime ones. And on that, we just do we have, again, ask people, what kind of things do you want me to cover? And we just cover that. But to be honest, it keeps coming back to the same things, because having done workshops for a long time, you realise that there are a few key areas that people maybe don't understand as well as they could do, and that's what's slowing them up from being better at what they do. So I would always work on that. But at the same time, I mean, I've got one in Germany coming up, which is it's really big now. We've been doing it for about nearly 10 years, and there's 4 teachers on that usually. But normally what they like is to maybe learn a new tune over the weekend at some point, and also they like to work on things like very basic improvisation, working around really simple scale ideas, and that helps to. Improvisation is good because that develops a different side of your brain from copying stuff. So you've got copying things, which is one thing. Improvisation, of course, you can't copy, you've got to make it up.
Yeah.
So to get that side of your brain, you need, it's good to do that even as an exercise. Even if you think, well, I don't really want to improvise. Everyone can improvise. It's just trying to develop it. And then songs, I tend to not do anything too complex with songs. I tend to do them reasonably basic, mostly based around sort of first position, nothing too complicated.
You just showed me Desperado there.
Yeah.
Which was
I mean, Desperado is very simple in the first position. One finger. One finger.
But you made it look so good. Right,
Yeah.
so
that's an example of taking a song that, actually people asked me to do that, and also the people at that particular workshop weren't advanced players, so they weren't comfortable playing somewhere else in the neck. So
yeah.
I just made a wee arrangement up in the first position so they could play it. And so part of that is understanding, how to play it, and the other part is, like what's that chord? Why does that work? What is that? So it was a twofold thing. One is obviously the end of it. You've got a nice little arrangement of a song, and the other part behind that is understanding why that works. So how am I able to work that out in the first position? And does that work for other tunes? Yes, it works for every tune. So you could get a song you like, do it in the first position, and it would be fine. But you would need to know how to do that. So in other words, you need to know the notes and the chord. You need to know, how the melody works. How many notes do you need? And obviously you can see from that I'm not playing a normal shape. So I started with G, but I'm playing a really simple version of it, and then I played that.
Yeah.
So maybe a lot of people wouldn't recognise that as a chord, but it's basically this G7. But so so I would break down that and explain it to people and say this is how you do it, and then maybe pick another couple of tunes as well. Same sort of idea. You just pick very simple. Again, very, very simple, nothing to it really, but it helps if you know what you're actually playing and not just copy me doing it. So I put a lot of stress on trying to understand, what's under your fingers and what you're playing and what happens when I take that finger off.
Yeah.
What sound does it make and why does it work, etc, etc. So that's a big part of it.
That's so useful. 'Cause it's kind of giving people a lot more tools to work with.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah, definitely.
So, in regards to this workshop as well, because there will be people coming maybe at different levels, the main ambition, I guess, is that everybody takes something away from the workshop and everybody improves in some way. So, we'd already said, that I think that with this one we're going to see, what people are like when they arrive, and then
Yeah.
kind of take it from there. But I guess there is going to be an overall kind of structure of what you'll be doing.
Yeah, I mean, usually I contact people first and just maybe get some ideas from them, what sort of things they want to learn, if there's any particular areas they want me to cover, and I would really try and cover that for every person that was there.
Yeah.
Obviously a lot of it will overlap, but I'm not a huge fan of just turning up with one thing and saying, right, I'm doing this, so I would do a little bit of background work initially to make sure we're covering the right stuff, so that when we turn up I already know roughly what I want to do, and then we can just crack on with it, so that at the end of the workshop they go away with everything that hopefully they've wanted to get from it. So that's important to me, because I've done a lot of them. Occasionally you get people who don't say much, like, I just want to listen or whatever, and I find that quite frustrating, because I really want to help people, so I need to know roughly what it is but generally we tend to come back to the same things all the time. It's the same problems most people have, I think, so it's just addressing that, and addressing it in a way that suits that particular player, because everybody thinks differently, so you've got to have a route into it that works for them, I think.
Yep. Well, the good thing about this as well, one thing I'm really looking forward to, is not just the workshops, but just the jamming sessions as well. Just, having some time to chat and, just get the guitars out and have a good jamming session, because I think that's what a lot of people are missing these days. They sit in the room, they play their guitar, and then when it comes to the dreaded question, when you're at a party or somewhere and someone asks you to play a song, you just don't know what to do.
Well, I mean, jamming's great, because you learn a lot from that person you're jamming with as well. It can be different things. It can be, they haven't got a very good sense of time. Yeah. So you need to think differently.
It's a common issue, actually, you realise now. People staying in time.
Or vice versa, you think to yourself, my time's not as good as I thought it was. Yeah. Or you don't know how to improvise over something, so then the next day you go, how do you improvise over that? What do you do? What are you thinking? Yeah. And then you can explain it to people and break it down in very simple terms, nothing complicated. I use like really simple things, like just like a basic scale, a major scale, or pentatonic, which is less notes than a major scale, and just work from that, because when you do that, you find yourself sort of in a situation where if you try and improvise, you panic a lot of the time, or most people do. And how you don't panic is, again, having that safety net, having the thing that, but I know these notes work, so I can go back to that. And if you phrase a C scale really well, you'll sound great. You don't need any other fancy scales. You just got a basic scale. You phrase it well, it will sound really good. So I would do quite a bit of work on that, and I do encourage people to try improvisation. And even people that are thinking, I don't want to do it. Once they get into it, they realise,
I think for me, it's definitely the most fun that I have with guitars, when you can even just stick on a backing track and just jam along. So it's a great feeling to be able to do that. So I guess that's pretty much covered. Okay. Everything that we're going to be doing. Again, the workshop's going to be on the 25th of May. Well, it starts on the 25th of May. That's the Friday. We'll be doing full workshops on the 26th and the 27th. And of course, we'll have delicious meals. We'll have the spa facilities there as well. The hotel that we'll be using is absolutely amazing. So it should be an overall great weekend. I'm really looking forward to it, John. Thanks very much for coming and speaking to us today. And I look forward to the retreat. And thanks very much for joining us. And if you get any questions, if you want to book a place, there are still some rooms available. So just leave a comment below or send me a message. Thank you.
Great.
Cool.
Job done?
Yep. I had a little panic moment there.